guys have Minnesota sports flowing in their veins. Mackey and Judd on SKOR North and SKORNorth.com.
Some weekend statements and questions coming at you here. Presented in part by Legit Pizza. Here's a statement. Legit Pizza is the best frozen pizza on the market right now, in my opinion. That stone-baked, cracker-thin, crunchy crust, zesty tomato sauce. So many different types. Topping sausage and pepperoni, the sausage and mushroom, supreme. Even just the cheese is fantastic. Throw some crushed red pepper on there. You can find Legit Pizzas at a grocery store freezer section near you and have that authentic at-home pizza parlor experience. Also, the Twins are on the road the rest of this week, but they will be home again soon. You can get your Twins tickets for a team that is back in the playoff picture, Dex.
Yeah, absolutely. Go to Twins Baseball to learn more. Go to or twins.com, I should say, to get more information on those tickets. You got 612 Saturdays, which gives you discounts on drinks, snacks, and food. Plus post-game concerts, firework nights, plenty of great stuff coming up at Target Field. Toronto will be there this weekend. It'll be packed. So go to twins.com to get your tickets.
Okay, first statement here for you guys. The next 6 weeks are going to be chaos for the Timberwolves and the National Basketball Association. Already over the weekend, as it pertains to the Timberwolves, we've had multiple reports of their continued interest in Kevin Durant. So this is from Sam D'Amico, I believe it's pronounced. And I'm getting this from the NBA Central. Not Central. People are like, that account's fake. No, NBA Central is the fake one. NBA Central is the aggregator. So they're both making bank off the Twitter algorithm. So good for them. But Amico Hoops, it's a Sam Amico, I guess. Amico Hoops said the Timberwolves need another alpha next to Anthony Edwards to win it all, which is why sources told HoopsWire that Minnesota is expected to pursue a Durant trade again this offseason. And Brian Windhorst has been doing his little windy fingers thing over the last couple months too, that, hey, they were absolutely trying to make this happen at the trade deadline. This is a thing. So I think the Timberwolves, in terms of like big picture strategy this offseason, they basically have two paths. Path number one is a marginal tweak. You bring back maybe Julius Randle and Nickeil Alexander and Naz Reid, either opt in or you sign one or both to extensions, but you bring both those guys back, and maybe you bring Gobert back, and it's Nickeil who leaves via free agency. You replace him with a Terrence Shannon Jr., maybe you use your mid-level exception on like a Tyus Jones, and you try again, and Anthony Edwards gets better. But the second path is you make a huge splash of some kind. You bring in a whale, a 37-year-old Kevin Durant, and whatever that would take. You make a phone call on a Giannis. So statement into a question, do you think the Wolves will opt for a marginal tweak, or do you think they will make a huge splash in the next 6 weeks?
I think that Tim Connelly is going to, as he has done before, jump into the deep end of the pool and not give a damn what we all think. I think the Durant thing is absolutely 1,000% on the table. I also think that, Tim Connelly holds all the cards too. Is someone going to object? Oh, you object? Oh, my contract's done. Guess I can't do what I want here. I'll be going elsewhere. Tim Connelly, so I think in retrospect, we can all agree on one thing, because he definitely did make changes with the Nuggets, but he left there. And I think we can all agree on the fact that one thing he was given here, and I'm sure it was by Laurie and A-Rod to a certain extent, was carte blanche, right? Like, you come here, you do what you want, man. Like, you do what you want. So I am expecting Tim Connelly from the top rope. No question about it. So while we all have our little conversations about, well, Nas might opt back in, and Julius will too, and they'll stay, and we might lose Nas, which will make me cry, but the Timberwolves will keep the majority of their team together. Tim Connelly's like, I traded Karl Anthony Towns on the eve of training camp.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. Also, like on the Julius opt-in or not, or the Naz Reid player option, I think because those guys have a few weeks now. I think it's toward the end of June. We could find the exact dates, but it's like June 24th or 29th.
I think you're right.
I don't know if those guys 100% know what they're going to do yet, but rest assured, Tim Connelly has probably laid out 12 different scenarios for, okay, if he chooses this path, then here's what we're going to do. If he chooses that path, I think Anthony Edwards is the only 100% lock to be on this roster for next year. Because I think they're going to reevaluate, what Gobert means to this team going into a more trade-friendly contract with now that he's coming down to $35 million a year. Much easier to include in a trade and for a team to absorb him and still put a team around him. And I think Jaden McDaniels is very close to untouchable with how team-friendly his contract appears to be. But if you're on the phone with the Bucks and Giannis is like, you know what? I don't need the big market. I'd love to play next to Anthony Edwards. Well, you're not getting him without a Jaden McDaniels. So I think that's the crazy thing. They could opt for marginal tweaks, or they could look at everyone else not named Anthony Edwards and make a third splash in the Tim Connelly era. So it's gonna be wild.
I have an NBA statement as well. So my statement is pretty simple. I am jacked for this NBA Finals. I know you see Oklahoma City and Indianapolis, and I'm sure like executives or TV people are like, oh my God, we had a chance at New York being here, and Boston's obviously they went out in the semis, but yeah, the Lakers and Warriors get bounced by the Timberwolves. Oh boy, this is gonna be bad. I think this is gonna be awesome. OKC is on this insane historic run where they're winning a bunch of games. I know Timberwolves fans, I'm just going to assume here, are probably aligning themselves with the Pacers more than a Thunder win. But these two teams were also, there was a great write-up on ESPN.com, I think this morning on it, talking about how both these squads were passed up on Christmas Day games, for God's sakes, and the Thunder were off to an awesome start. Pacers are coming off another good year too, and they were passed up on Christmas, and now here they are in the NBA Finals. You got Oklahoma City and Indianapolis. I'm excited for this. It's going to be a really fun series, and I'm jacked for this. So even though if you're an executive and if you're consuming this show, which why wouldn't you be, this should be an absolute blast of an NBA Finals, and I'm super excited for it.
There's also a lot to be learned if you're the Timberwolves. As you're going through your different scenarios and stuff, aren't you a little curious to see how this up-tempo, 5-out Indiana Pacers, like 3-point shooting, they spread out teams. They don't have a Rudy Gobert non-offensive presence. Miles Turner can shoot threes and rim protect. Pascal Siakam can play inside, outside. And Tyrese Halliburton just has a ton of space to create opportunities for teammates. Anthony Edwards probably looks at that and is sort of envious. Boy, I'd love to operate with as much space and freedom as Tyrese Halliburton does. If these guys get squashed in like 4 games, okay, well, yeah, you're going to need a little bit more size and toughness probably to beat in Oklahoma City. Mm-hmm. But if they take Oklahoma City to 6 games or 7, or they beat Oklahoma City, maybe it acts as more of a blueprint for you to put a different type of team around Anthony Edwards. Not that you've like forego defense altogether, but you would lean into how can we score 120 plus points more often than not and just open up space for Ant on offense. Does that include Conley? Does that include Gobert? Probably not. What other move? It probably does include Naz Reid. Maybe it doesn't include Julius Randle. So I'm kind of curious, like from a Wolves perspective, watching how Indiana goes about the chess match against OKC.
I will be curious to Declan's point too about the viewership, because like we all recall that when the Spurs played the Nets in the early aughts, it was a ratings disaster. But those were not fun games. Like this is two fun teams. And by the way, each has a star player. And I will say this, the NBA, it feels like we've forgotten this, but on the old show, Phil, we talked about this at the time a lot. The NBA isn't as driven now by markets as by players. So, like, people will tune in, I think, to watch Shea, to watch Tyrese play. So, because, I mean, it used to be, hey, Knicks, Lakers, Celtics, or bust, right? I feel like we moved past that. I'm not saying that a Knicks finals wouldn't have done great. I am saying I think there might be a little bit more intrigue in these teams because they're fun teams with absolute top-end talent than we're giving them credit for.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a lower rated finals just because like you're not tapping into the big markets, and the NBA has done a crappy job. I mean, Declan just brought it up, or one of you guys did, the Christmas Day thing. Like you've got these Halliburtons and these SGAs, and they're not. Even Anthony Edwards. The NBA has been so obsessed with marketing and squeezing the last drop out of the bottle of Durant and LeBron and Steph Curry, Lakers and Warriors, and these teams, even like James Harden. But there's this undercurrent of mid-20s aged stars that also were on the Olympic team, by the way, like part of USA basketball, at least in terms of like Anthony Edwards and Halliburton, right? So if they have a bad, like if it's like one of the 2 or 3 worst rated NBA finals, or maybe it's the worst rated NBA finals in our lifetimes, that's on the NBA for not doing a better job of highlighting some of these younger players. It's crazy. Like these national commentators probably spent very little time watching Indiana, Minnesota. They're like shocked. Oh my gosh. Like remember last year, Anthony Edwards, Stephen A. Smith was figuring out who Anthony Edwards was for the first time. So I have one more question off this like basketball discussion. I don't know if you guys saw Bill Simmons, the clip that was going around yesterday. And there's been a couple of these takes. Inside the NBA had its last episode on TNT, and they did the mic drop thing, and they dropped a bunch of F-bombs. I don't know if you guys caught it's worth going back and watching like the last 20 minutes of the last ever Inside the NBA on TNT. But Bill Simmons came out and a couple others and have said ESPN's going to screw this up because the show's not going away. It's just moving over to ESPN.
Right.
And in theory, like it's going to be, Ernie Johnson said it's the same producers. It's the same 4 of us, and it's just going to be on a different network. So we're signaling the end of the 36-year NBA on TNT run. And Bill Simmons brought up a great point. He said they're going to screw this up because ESPN's commercial structure is vastly different than TNT's. And they also have the Scott Van Pelt post-game show that they just throw it to Scott Van Pelt in the studio. What's going to happen to him? He's highly paid. Or they have other games, like they'll throw it to some other play-by-play obligation on like a Tuesday night or a Thursday night. Yeah. So my question is, do you think Inside the NBA is going to be the same show just on a different network, or do you think ESPN's going to screw it up and it's going to be an epic disaster?
I would say 1,000% they're going to screw the pooch, except for this. McAfee has gotten around their rules by so much.
Yeah.
I think they're going to I think what we're not allowing for, and Pat McAfee proved this, is I think the agreement for them to go there is to allow them to do what they want, how they did it. So previously to McAfee, I would have said this is going to be a disaster. I'm not so sure now because ESPN is going to pay so much, and I'm sure to get this group of people, they had to make assurances. I highly doubt that, Charles, Shaq, Kenny, and Ernie just said, "Oh, we'll just go to your network." I'm willing to bet that they got promises. So I understand what Bill is saying. I sort of feared that, but McAfee to me sort of reset the parameters of what happens when ESPN, the biggest bully on the block, gets bullied itself.
Yeah.
So that's my guess.
We'll see. Oh, it's yeah. You're right about the McAfee thing. The McAfee has definitely
F-bombs at noon.
Yeah, he has kind of carved out the same space that he had on YouTube for all those years. Judd, why don't you go next?
All right, so this just came across my email, and it's a dark day for those of us that follow the Wild.
What?
The Wild has made a move. No, Marco Rossi has not been traded. No, it's not even a trade. It's a signing. They have signed Marcus Johnasson to a 1-year, $800,000 contract. I have lost faith in Bill Guerin. I've lost faith in my own faith.
He's a friend of the show.
Why? Yeah, he is. What are we doing? I was so looking forward to, who, by the way, Marcus had a great playoff because when push comes to shove and the games get important, he will start to try. But in his second stint with this team, I have no idea why he is being retained when you have talent coming up. This was one of, like if you had given me a list of the guys I was most looking forward to seeing elsewhere next season, Marcus Johnasson might have been number 1, and now he's coming back for another season to eat up ice time of young players who deserve it, and to lollygag around the ice at the most inopportune times because he doesn't feel like giving his full effort. My day is, it's not ruined. It is significantly altered, and I am now in hockey mourning.
I mean, I didn't understand bringing him back the second time. I remember his first tenure here didn't go great. Yeah, he has a nice playoff run. I will say, like, it's a 1 year, $800K. So it's like basically a bare minimum, league minimum contract, right? So, like, there might even be I know Guerin really likes him, and I'm in the camp of most of you of like, can we move on from the Marcus Johansson experience for the second time, please? But like, I wouldn't say, is there a path where he doesn't make the roster out of training camp?
No, he's going to make the roster now. This needed to be a cut bait situation. No, he's going to make the roster, and he's going to eat up ice time unnecessarily, and he's going to lollygag through the month of December because those games aren't important. No, this is it's like when you take away a toy from the kid, okay? Is the toy doing the kid harm? No, not really, but it was not a very valuable toy to the child's life. This is like the plaything of the wild, and he won't go away.
Is this just like it's a comfort factor, I guess, to your toy analogy that?
Yes,
because teams and GMs do this. It feels like he's the kind of the Johnny Munt, but like he has a more pronounced role than Johnny Munt.
Right, that's the thing. If you could assure me he was going to be like on the fourth line or in the press box,
right?
But I mean, this guy finished the season on the second line, and I don't think they're going to demote him immediately until he pisses him off. But then, sure as bleep, when the games get important, he'll try again. It's an addiction.
By the way, I'm Mr. Advanced Hockey Analytics guy on the show here. Whenever you need a hockey take, you come to me. Marcus Johansson, despite playing way more games than most players on this list above him, was 13th among Wild skaters, not counting goaltenders, in point shares, according to Hockey Reference last year.
Yeah.
So, even like the analytics kind of don't really give him much support.
It's not the money. It's the commitment to him being on their roster that makes me very, very emotionally unstable right now.
Well, but you know what? Got to support our own here now that he's back with the Wild here. If he's hanging out in the Twin Cities during these summer months, Marcus Johansson or anyone should contact MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning for all their HVAC needs.
Hold on a second here. Okay, while I'm incredibly hot right now, I'm hot under the collar. I'm going to tell you right now, if you're hot because it's getting hot outside, it's going to get sticky. MSP Plumbing, Heating and Air, those are the folks to call to make sure that your AC is operating at peak efficiency. Also, in the community, make your way to Grand Old Days on Sunday. So
that was yesterday.
Oh, man.
It was a great time. I had a great time at Grand Old Days.
Hold on a second here.
Time.
Yeah,
hold on a second. It was June 1st yesterday.
Hold on a second. It was great.
Hold on a second. I'm so upset. I missed the date on this thing. This is what you've done to me, Bill Guerin. MSP, Plumbing, Heating and Air, absolutely fantastic, though. And may I say, they've been to my house multiple times. I don't let anyone like Johansson in my house. Only the best for me. Check out their events. I'm sure there's more on Facebook. Check out their website. Call MSP.com. Call MSP.com. 651-615-4292. I hope you saw them at Grand Old Days because there were some good offers there.
I was there.
I don't know if Federated was at Grand Old Days. I'm actually headed down to hang out with our friends at Federated Insurance tomorrow. I'll be down in Owatonna tomorrow.
Owatonna?
That's
nice.
Right. Going to spend the afternoon down there and to just kind of find out what's going on with their business. How are they looking to help you guys, business owners out there in 2025? So whether you're in Minnesota or anywhere in the United States, Federated, based in Owatonna, but now has a national footprint, can help your business elevate through risk management and through safety and preventing claims. So if you don't feel comfortable with your current insurance company or you don't feel comfortable with the coverages and the plans, contact our friends at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours.
So my statement is the joys of home ownership. So I sent you guys a photo or even video. I mowed my first lawn on Friday. I mowed the lawn.
Adulting.
Great. Dude, super satisfying. Like it was super satisfying.
Did you crack a cold one afterwards?
Yes, I cracked a cold one and then sat in the patio and looked at the lawn. It was great.
Yeah, I do that. That's good.
But here's the joys of home ownership. 45 minutes later after I mowed that lawn, my wife leaves and she calls me from the alley. We have a detached garage. Calls me from the alley and goes, "Hey, the garage door won't close." I'm like, okay, that's weird. Go out there. Garage door opener broke. the chain fell off.
Oh, yeah.
The one of the cords that's plugged into the garage door opener snapped.
Oh yeah.
And
by the way, you know that the previous owners knew about that too.
Oh yeah, because I looked up.
Oh, they knew about
One
it.
car.
I had to go grab a step ladder. I didn't have a ladder. Again, things I don't have because I'm a homeowner. Had to go get a ladder, get up there, see the install date. January 1993. I was 1 month old when this thing
My
was
water
installed.
heater. Yeah. Sure.
So luckily, I have a guy. I think he's supposed to be calling me here shortly, but I've had to manually open and close my 2.5 car garage. And there's also no lock on it, so I have to jerry rig this wrench to make sure no one actually lifts up my garage door when I'm not in it. Detached, detached from the house.
Fine,
Yep. But yeah, the joys of home ownership. Mowed my first lawn. I'm feeling good. 45 minutes later, the garage door opener goes out, baby. This is it. This is it.
And then the trip. So something similar happened. We were renting our place in when we lived in Seattle for a couple years, but it was like some guy's house that we were renting basically, and like he has another place and he just rents this out. So we get there first night, and one of the fire alarms starts chirping.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And we don't have a ladder yet. So it's like 7:45 p.m. and it's like these 15-foot high ceilings or whatever. And so there goes Macadac over to Home Depot and trying to find my way to a Home Depot, go buy that ladder, climb up. So there's something satisfying though about something goes wrong in a new place. Mm-hmm. You go to Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever, get your fix, come back in. And now the next tenant has that ladder for whatever might go wrong in the Seattle home.
Just case by case say, I'll fix that. I won't fix that.
Yep.
I won't fix that. I'll fix that. That's what happens once you own a house for a long time. Like we had a garage door opener, but our garage is a one-car garage, so it broke. I'm like, I'm not gonna fix it. Because in my case, I can just move the door itself. It's easy. So no fix there.
Also, multiple quotes, very important. I found that with the tree. I had the tree. I paid a guy to fix the tree last week. So this is the fun part of home ownership. I'm going through it.
Now, did he have to get up in like a bucket thing too to trim the tree?
No. These were we did this with the eye test yesterday. I am certain we have the tallest and largest tree in the entire block. It's huge. So there's it's a spruce tree. Figured out it was a spruce tree.
Got it.
And it had a bunch of limbs that were like only 5 feet high that were hanging down on the ground, like to the point where we were bobbing and weaving around the backyard, just getting to the garage or now mowing. So that he probably took off a dozen branches, hauled them away, and now we can get under the tree without, ducking and moving all over the place. But yeah, already did that one. Now the garage door. I got to hopefully getting a call here this afternoon to have a guy look at it. But
wow, homeowner Dex.
This is it, baby.
Homeowner Dex out there.
I think good.
Famous last word.
Might want to get that checked out.
I was
Again,
gonna say,
speaking from experience in Seattle.
If you're floating around while doing the
I'll
show
let you
next
know.
time.
Judd, you get the final say here. Brother.
Okay, my final say is this. I have found it took a long time in life. This started with actually Dex's nuptials and continued into the event that I attended with Dawn, the wedding of one of her best friends from high school, her daughter, and that is this: suit rental is where it's at. So for all those years, because I don't wear suits, of course I don't, and but for all those years where you're like, I got to go buy a suit, and suits are not cheap, okay? I'm going to tell you right now, renting a suit, which I think at the end of the day is approximately like $150, is the greatest thing of all time.
Well, yeah, if you only go to one formal occasion,
right? I'm not saying if you're a
5 years.
businessman. I'm not saying if you're a businessman, but if you're a guy who
I saw your tweet about this.
Occasionally is like, I need a suit, and when I was for the longest time, I thought I gotta go. Like, does my suit fit? Do I have to go buy a suit? And by the way, because I don't wear suits much, the suit sits in the closet. So does it look good? Does it need to be dry cleaned? All of that stuff out. Everything, socks, shoes, a tie that's tied. So all you got to do is tighten it. Everything about it fits perfectly.
Wait, they is it clip on or they
no,
pre-tie?
It's pre-tied. It's pre-tied. So
I love tying a tie. It's satisfying.
I don't mind it, but
what
what I'm saying is everything is done for you.
But who pre-ties? It's like So like the shirt is unbuttoned and they leave the tie loose, and you
no,
the shirt
tie
over
is not on the shirt. So the shirt is on
Okay.
a hanger, and then the tie is just, it's already all you have to do. And I don't mind tying a tie. I'm actually good at it. But the point is, you talk about the just easiest way to live your life if you don't wear a suit a lot. Suit rental every time. And by the way, a suit, if you buy one, is very expensive.
You could also test. I mean, it looks like you went with kind of a basic black suit, but when you do rent this, I've never. The only suit I ever rented was like for senior prom, back in the day.
Yep, bunch of kids are doing that.
But you could go crazy for a night and get like a Dumb and Dumber suit, but not
100%.
have to. You'd never buy that. But if it was like one night and you don't really know anyone at the wedding, like you could go a little crazy and then just give it back.
I think you'd have to be younger than me right now, but yes,
I don't know.
You're correct. 55 would be really hard to show up in a Dumb or Dumber suit. And by the way,
I think the orange one. I think you'd be good in the orange one.
And by the way, too, man, when you're in your 20s, weddings great, 30s great. At my age now, I just can't hang. I have to go home.
Yeah,
like the kids are dancing out
at my
there.
age, I can't hang.
The kids are dancing, and
Yeah.
like Dawn's like, yeah, should we leave? I'm like, absolutely. And it's not because I didn't have a great time.
gave you
I
the
actually had a
opening.
lot of fun. But I'm just saying, hanging, like, I don't know. It's so funny because when you're young, you're like, this is going to be, you know, I can do this and that. And then you're like,
I'm first and last on the dance floor at every wedding. Like I'm the last person leaving the dance floor.
Sure. And you know what? Stay with that as long as possible because it's going to end.
And then you
Judd
come
tries
home.
to leave before the music starts, like right after dinner, maybe one drink.
Actually, you know what? A great outdoor patio scene here. So I just went outside.
That's good. If you have like an adjacent hangout area,
Gorgeous adjacent hangout. Yes,
for sure.
That's all I got for you guys. I gotta go. Put my patch.
Judd's camp notes has to fire this thing up. You'll find those on Purple Daily tomorrow, and hopefully Judd finds some SPF 1000 for what looks to be a sweltering day on the practice field today. So we'll get the full report tomorrow. Minnesota Sports with Mackey and Judd here. We'll see you guys for a scoop session tomorrow.